What are you doing?
Aren't you going to jump?
Aren't you going to jump first?
I haven't decided yet.
So you're just going to stand there?
Beautiful night, isn't it?
If you're trying to freeze to death.
No, I'm glad we have the chance to do this over, because the world is going a certain way, and I'm not sure I want to contribute to it.
I'm going to do it, you know.
Okay.
Jump off the bridge into the freezing cold water.
Well, let's not get hysterical about it.
Look, buddy, you're either here to help me or not. Which is it?
Are we sure your insurance policy is paid up?
Why?
Well, I'm just doing my due diligence.
So you're saying...
I'm not saying anything. I'm just trying to balance your need to do what you think is best for your family with my need to do what's best for the world.
You know, if I jump off this bridge, I'll probably die from one of three things, including your neglect.
I know I'm supposed to talk you out of it, but I also know I'm supposed to leave the world in better shape than I found it.
Are you saying the world would be better off without me?
Isn't that what you're saying now, essentially?
I don't know what I'm saying. I'm having a bad day, and I think you're about to make it worse.
Then jump, and let's see how this thing plays out.
You'll save me, won't you?
But I can only shape the future. I can't predict it.
You know, stranger, you're starting to bother me.
Good.
Because I don't like a man who won't take responsibility for his actions.
Like you?
Isn't this where we take a trip back in time and see how the world would be worse off without me?
That would be extremely time-consuming.
You have something else to do?
No, where I'm from, I'm considered lazy, but I prefer to think of myself as efficient. Now, why spend 3 hours doing something that could be more easily accomplished in 10 minutes?
Then maybe we could do a streamlined version of what life would be without me.
Well, that would still be speculative.
Isn't that the very nature of what you do?
Well, that's the problem. I prefer things concrete.
Wouldn't it be concrete to say, my life is better than death?
Sure, without context.
I'm 38 years old. I have 4 kids, and I run a business a lot of people depend on.
Depended on.
I can still bounce back.
When you dream about moving into the city and becoming an architect, with or without your wife.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Clarance.
Well, Clarence, can you give me one concrete reason why it's better for me to die?
Aside from the fact that you want to die?
Well, yeah.
Well, I've been reading the small print of your insurance policy. Granted, the print is small. And unless I'm misconstruing things, which sometimes I do, it really is a good policy, though you could have done better not buying from a friend.
So what are you saying?
Well, since you've had the policy for more than 2 years, you run absolutely no risk of forfeiting the proceeds.
By jumping off the bridge?
In fact, the death benefit would be even higher if you die by, well, let's just say tonight, as opposed to 5 decades from now. Not to mention all the sympathy your wife and kids would get. In lieu of flowers, please contribute to the Bailey Children Scholarship Fund. And I can say with a fair degree of certainty, donations would be tax deductible. Not to mention that Potter would make a sizable donation just to get the hordes off his back.
Because I'm loved?
Because at its core, real estate is about good relationships. And even someone as heartless as Potter realizes that.
But if I don't jump?
Mortgages still have to be paid.
Well, maybe my old friend Sam could still lend me the money.
What about your pride?
Oh, yeah.
And the conviction that what you're doing is good?
What I'm doing is good, isn't it?
You run a savings and loan, don't you?
Well, yeah.
And you take pride in lending money to people who can't really afford to borrow it.
Yeah, they're just a step away from getting back on their feet.
That when you say getting back on their feet, you suggest that they were on their feet to begin with, when in truth, these people are, how can I say this nicely? They're
Slackers.
slackers in the sense they're depending on the kindness of others to bail them out. Hey, I just caught the hidden meaning of your name, Bailey. Bail out. It doesn't take much for me to amuse myself. Well, no matter. People look up to you not because they admire you, but because they see you as someone who will give them something for nothing, more for less. While Potter, and I'm not saying I endorse him, but at least he pushes people to become the best they can be. Well, not that I'm discounting your intentions. I'm just looking at the bottom line because, well, in a sense, well, that's what I do. That help people take inventory of their lives and then let them figure out what to do next.
Well, if I jump off this bridge, I really won't have a future, will I?
I wasn't really thinking about you, though I like you. Damn, you're likable. And I can't say that about most people I try to help. In fact, I find most of them detestable. Counting on external forces to help them out instead of the rolling up their sleeves and just getting to it themselves.
Well, if you're not thinking about me, then who are you thinking about?
I'm really looking at this from a macro point of view. You see, I'm really too good at what I do. Most of us get caught up in the emotions or the emotion of the thing, or trying to answer every prayer when what we should really be doing is giving the world one big reality check. Excuse me. I wasn't really prepared for this. I thought I was meeting some kid named Fidel outside a casino in Havana.
God bless you, if that's okay to say.
Sure. Well, that's fine.
Because shouldn't we be talking about God?
No, please don't get me started on God, because he raises up our hopes just to have them fall again.
You know, maybe I'd be doing the world a bigger favor by pushing you off the bridge.
Are you threatening me?
No, I'm trying to do something concrete.
Well, imagine that. But
Now, look here, Clarence. A lot of people in this world, they count on me. Why, if I didn't rescue my brother from the frozen pond, he wouldn't have been a hero in World War II. And maybe if I gave up on the family business, this crummy town would be one big industrial ghetto. And maybe if I didn't marry my lousy wife.
The bottom line is the future, George. That's all we have in front of us. The future.
Like where you're going to get your next drink?
How dare you?
Or do you have another explanation why your nose is so red?
You're the one who's been drinking.
Obviously not enough.
Well, let's be honest about what you do.
Let's be honest about what you do.
You help people you despise, and then you despise them more when they can't pay you back.
Couldn't we say the same about you?
I help people see the folly of the way.
And I give people the chance to live happily ever after.
But what's going to happen generations from now when loans come due and no one has anything left in the bank?
Well, these people will be earnest about paying back their loans.
But you'll be earnest in making new loans. In fact, you'll even be rewarded, even celebrated for doing it until it comes time to start doling out the blame.
You have a very jaded view of the world.
I know exactly where this is going. My last customer was a guy named Ponzi. Not only did I let him jump off the bridge, but I gave him a big push. A lot of good that did for the world.
You know, I didn't invite you here.
Well, then why don't you just chase me away, George Bailout?
Hey.
What?
I'm bleeding. My goodness, I'm bleeding.
Oh, take it easy, bud.
No, I thought I was having a dream, but now I know this is real. You're real, aren't you?
Hands off.
I thank you, Clarence, for showing me the folly of my way.
What are you doing?
Maybe the world would be better off without you.
Please, I'm sure we can work something out because I've been stuck on probations ever since this terrible thing with the Titanic. Man, this is my last chance to get it right.
And what happens if you get it right?
I get a place in the Catskills and live happily ever after.
And how are you going to afford a place in the Catskills?
That's the problem. I don't have any cash, except some lira left over from that incident in the 15th century.
Hey, I could make you a loan at 2 points less than prime.
Really?
Yeah, fixed rate. Unless the rates go down, and then we'll fix it again later.
I like the way you said that.
Just don't get specific with the application. When it asks for income, just scribble something illegible. But I want your lira. I intend to go to Italy someday, with or without my wife.
You know something? I think this is going to be the start of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, maybe not a beautiful friendship, but a wonderful life. In the Catskills.
Wow. You're really like my guardian angel.
Yeah. Here's to you, kid.
Did you know? Every time someone makes a toast, an angel gets his wings.
Really?
Cheers.
Cheers.